Hey y'all, I'm Ronak Rahman, Head of Developer Relations with Quali. We've talked about all the cool stuff that Torque does in previous videos, but let's talk about what Torque can remove, like the barriers, the crap, the bullshit that slows down dev processes, and how to speed it up. I think of it as addition by subtraction. By removing barriers, we add efficiency and velocity to the software build process. Let me illustrate. Most software gets created in a CI/CD pipeline these days. Developers commit code to kick off a series of automated tasks from build all the way to software deployment. Easy peasy, right? Not so fast. Along the way, though, choke points start to pop up, slowing down the process. To get the build process flowing smoothly again, developers, they have to manually fix these issues. Digging from my own personal experience as a developer, I've had delays, for example, of setting up environments due to lack of cloud access. You know how it works. You have to submit a DevOps ticket first to be granted access to the appropriate cloud account. That can take a day or two, sometimes even more to address. Once I have access, I begin to build out the environments I need to build separate environments for each deployment target along my CI/CD pipeline, which added more time. Very tedious. Within those environments, often not my responsibility, but someone needs to do it, I needed to check for compliance to corporate security standards, including make sure users have the right access. Sort of like Goldilocks, not too much access, not too little, just right. With Torque, I can manage and control changes across the environments I care about. That's because Torque is an infrastructure control plane for complex application environments. As a control plane, Torque gives the visibility and control across public, private, and hybrid environments, and is built for DevOps to remove the crap, the stuff, the barriers that developers deal with daily. Let me show you how it's done. So here's our Torque control plane demo. Sticking with our theme of addition through subtraction, I'm going to log in and show you how we can go ahead and remove worrying about access to the cloud, provisioning out environments at scale, and taking care of things like permission and internal corporate compliance and security compliance for your application environment. You don't have to worry about those things with Torque. Let's take a look. And here you'll notice I am logged into a space called Project Pivot. I have permissions to be in the space. We divide out applications by space here, and spaces get access to certain blueprints that are approved for this application to provision out. So it's a self-service catalog. You no longer have to worry about connecting to the cloud. The cloud access is done by connecting, like somebody in DevOps or somebody with access would connect the cloud account to your Torque control plane and then divvy out access via spaces here, like for instance I have in Project Pivot, and those cloud accounts have these blueprints that I can run. Well, where did the blueprints come from? Those also come from the settings. You connect repositories to your space. So there's basically your infrastructure as code. Here you can have your Terraform and your blueprint scripts. Blueprint scripts are simple YAML that describes your infrastructure. We're going to quickly launch a couple of environments, application environments here. So this is doing this at scale without all the work of getting your infrastructure as code scripts to line up and launch these and change it per environment. So here I'm going to just take, for example, this dev EKS application environment, and I'm going to quickly just launch it here. I'll say this is the dev EKS environment. I'm going to call it dev env, all right, and leave it at 2 hours and launch the sandbox. And I don't have to worry about shutting this down. This environment will, and all its associated assets will be shut down in 2 hours. All right, while this is launching, I'm going to go ahead and launch another environment for QA. And I'm going to launch that as well. All right, so and you can see in my sandbox environment, I have both my dev and QA environments launched super quickly. I can almost see my Friday plans materializing because I'm not going to have to work late. this Friday or over the weekend. All right, so let's take a look at one of these environments. And you could see we account for the infrastructure life cycle here. It's not just launching the infrastructure, but we're also concerned with teardown. You could see this application has 3 components on 3 pieces of infrastructure. We have a database, an API server, and a UI server. All right, and I don't have to worry about permissions to this environment. Permissions are controlled through the Torque control plane, users and roles settings right here. So I can add a user and I can give them permission to spaces. And those spaces in turn, and you have various levels within the spaces on what you can do inside the space. And I'm going to go back to my space here that we're working on, Project Pivot, and you could see again our dev and our QA environment here launching. And anybody who has access to this space has the access they need to this infrastructure, and only this infrastructure. They can't go to another space's sandbox. So I've removed all the worrying about spaces, and indeed you can encode security compliance and other internal corporate standards into your blueprint. Okay, we can see the dev environment is already active here, and we've completed all the infrastructure steps to build up the infrastructure. We have all the tags applied to all the assets, the database, the UI, and the API server, and you even have here a link that'll take you to basically your application, and here it is, boom, this is the application that you're running, your next killer app here. And now, all you have to do is go enjoy your weekend. Torque is a crucial control plane that is needed to subtract the barriers that slow down the development process. Subtract the issue of granting cloud access to developers using Torque's secure self-service tool. Subtract the soul-crushing tedium of building environments quickly with reusable environment blueprints. Subtract the grind of controlling and setting access policy through the use of centrally managed role-based access control. We invite you to take a test drive of Torque by clicking on the link in the description. You can even keep your beard if you want.